There are 7 mistakes most people make at the beginning of every year that makes their life hard and challenging and actually stops them from designing the life they desire. In today's episode, I want to reveal what those 7 mistakes are so that you can avoid them. Let's check them out. Let's go. You are incredible. Your body has a purpose. Your life has a purpose. You were designed to live the best life possible. Mic check. Mic sound okay? Camera 1 good? Camera 2 good? All right, here we go. What's going on, everyone? It is a brand new week, and we are back with another episode. Remember, every Tuesday, I bring a new episode to help you live a life of freedom through health in a simple, smart, and sustainable way. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I invite you to do so. Click the subscribe button and click the little bell so you can get all the notifications of our up-and-coming episodes. And if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast station, I invite you to click the follow button so you don't miss an episode. Every year is a hard year, and in that, there's so many expectations that we sometimes put on ourselves, and that expectation, that pressure, that anxiety, that stress, that overwhelming feeling, that clear blank state that now we're in, clear calendar, it's new, it's a brand new year, and there's so many emotions that we tend to deal with that make us sometimes fall into 7 mistakes. And these 7 mistakes can be crucial if we fall into them because they will make our life more challenging. And why do we want to make our life more challenging if we can simplify it and make our life a bit easier by avoiding these 7 mistakes? Now, when we talk and have conversations amongst my students and just colleagues and people that I have the privilege of connecting with, they share how these mistakes sometimes happen without them even planning to make them. They don't anticipate for them. And that, the lack of anticipation can sometimes set us up to fail, set us up to fall into these mistakes that subconsciously and without us desiring can make us fall from actually crafting the desires or the life that we really truly want. And so at the beginning of this year, I thought it would be a perfect moment for us to break down these 7 mistakes so that as you start moving in the direction of setting your intentions and setting up your goals and talking about what we've been talking about and taking action with what we've been talking about with each episode, you can now start really being intentional about these mistakes and reflecting on, okay, have I fallen into them in the past? And if so, what can I do today to make sure I don't fall into them? You know, I was one of those that would make these mistakes years ago as I started to really break down and reflect what these mistakes actually do or how they can actually affect our life. And in that, there were experiences of me having setbacks, doing things harder, spending more time at something that was just causing me to get more frustrated and get more anxious and really miss the mark. And so today, I want to shine light on those 7 mistakes so that the purpose of them can be for you to analyze, reflect, but more importantly, to make sure that as you're going through this year, you can check in and ask yourself, are these mistakes happening to me? Am I falling into these set traps that can make our life challenging? So let's jump on in. Setting unrealistic goals. The year brings in so much excitement that sometimes we allow these emotions to kind of dictate what we should strive for in an unrealistic way. Because we look at now it's a brand new year and we feel that sometimes we're invincible. Sometimes now the past is behind us, the ugly is behind us, a year that may have been good or not good, or things that maybe you set behind or fell off of, or goals that you didn't commit to. Now there's like this sense of just excitement and overwhelmness that can be a good thing. But if we're not careful, we can set unrealistic goals. And these unrealistic goals may seem appetizing, they might seem encouraging, they might seem good, but as we start taking action towards them, they can sometimes break us, and they can sometimes get us to not take action. When the goal is too high, it starts to create anxiety. It starts to then bring another emotional feeling that starts to actually collide with the excitement and the motivation of a new year or a new goal that you're chasing after. So what we want to be careful with is making unrealistic goals that actually end up producing fear, or end up producing stress, or end up producing anxiety, or end up producing hesitation or avoidance. When a goal is unrealistic, avoidance starts to creep in. So if at any time as you're starting the year and you start to set these goals for yourself and you start to analyze and you start taking action, but then you find yourself avoiding them. Oh, I'll do it later. Oh, I didn't do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. This week went by. Maybe I'll just do it next week. It's not that much. If the urgency is dying away and avoidance starts to kick in, we may need to reconsider that goal. We may need to reevaluate it. We may need to reduce it. We may need to cut it in half. If it has to do with the specific target number, whether it's trying to release a certain amount of weight, trying to go to the gym a certain amount of times during the week, trying to hit a specific nutrition goal, or trying to just be more active. If there's avoidance, let's reduce it down. And really, the most important thing here, what we've been talking about, is what's more powerful than setting goals is really setting intentions. Because intentions is linked to your identity. And if you want to learn more about this, I have just released an awesome podcast last week. Go check it out. You can find the link somewhere here in this video that will direct you to that podcast episode so that you can really check it out and learn how we can set intentions versus unrealistic goals that will really draw us towards or push us towards taking action and being and executing, because intentionality helps us execute. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to execute in this year, because as we start to execute towards the things that we want to do, that's going to give us the result we desire, whether it is releasing a certain amount of weight, building a certain amount of muscle, getting stronger, getting healthier, eating better, stop making unhealthy eating habits, maybe stop even several food addictions, whether that's sugar addiction or overeating or binge eating or emotional eating or stress eating. All of these things can start to change when we take intentional action towards something. So let's not make unrealistic goals this year. Putting pressure on yourself. This is a big one, y'all. This is a big mistake that we tend to fall into at the beginning of every year, or a new season, or a new quarter, or a new job, or a new goal that we're setting, or a new venture that we're embarking in. And when we put pressure on ourselves, meaning we're putting a set expectation and an overwhelming demand on ourselves, it will stop us from having the freedom to really go at something that we desire with conviction, with faith, with just a belief and an intentionality that you can do it. Pressure in a negative way sets us back. It will produce insecurities. It will produce doubt. It will produce stress. It will produce fear. And all of these negative emotions, what they're simply going to do is they're going to hinder us from actually moving forward. And they're going to start to generate, like I said, negative thoughts, negative beliefs. And these negative beliefs will then turn into no action or negative actions or sabotage, right? Or sometimes even doing something deliberately to hurt yourself, to then come back and point at the thing that you did and justify, you see, it's not going to work out for me. This wasn't meant to be. This year isn't for me. I'm never going to be able to be healthy. I'm never going to be able to get to this particular level of my life. So putting pressure on ourselves in a negative way is not a healthy thing to do. Instead, what we should do is focusing on intentionality. We should look at what resources can I bring into my life? What things can I expose or put around me that exposes me to what it is I do desire to achieve, to the life that I do want? And we're talking now about an uplifting pressure, so to speak, or an uplifting excitement, an uplifting emotion, an uplifting state that now gets you excited about going after whatever you desire each day. Because when we put this harsh expectation or this demand on ourselves, you gotta you gotta lose all this weight this year. You have to achieve this goal this year. You must stop doing that this year. This creates anxiety. As opposed to when we change that narrative and we start to say, I get to do this. I'm excited to do this. I have the opportunity to impact my life. I'm choosing to make this choice. I am choosing to go after this goal or go after this intention. It changes the parameter because now that stress and that negative pressure is released. And now it's an intrinsic motivation. It's an internal excitement. It's an internal spark, so to speak, that gets you going in towards the right direction. So the second mistake, don't put pressure on yourself in a negative way this year, but allow yourself to be immersed in this new identity that you desire to obtain and focus on immersing yourself, exposing yourself to that identity each day to get excited to go after it. Doing something to please others. This one hits home with me because for many years, I used to do things to try and gain acceptance or approval from others. Whether it was a friend, whether it was another authority that I saw that I respected, somebody that I valued in my life. And you see, every time we're doing something to try and please others, we miss the purpose of why we get to do things each day. We miss the opportunity and we miss the intentionality of knowing that what we do each day, the greatest gift that we can do is to do it for ourselves. Of knowing that I'm not on this earth to necessarily please somebody. I have the choice each day that I can make to be able to go after something for myself. Because I understand that this, whatever I'm chasing after, is going to give me a better quality of life. When we're trying to do things for somebody else, it tends to take us into an unhealthy path, an unhealthy journey. Because oftentimes we can't satisfy somebody to the fullest extent. And if we are doing something that we feel it's to gain acceptance from, whether it is a man, a woman, whether it is your spouse, or whether it's even your child, or even a boss, or whoever it is, sometimes it might not be good enough for them. And we're working hard and we're striving and we're doing all of these things for that set person or that set purpose, to only sometimes be left discouraged. The greatest thing we can do is whatever we're chasing after in terms of our health, understanding that we should be doing it for ourselves. Knowing that when I do this for me, meaning I'm making this choice for me, because it's my responsibility and I get to choose this for myself. I get to choose health for myself each day. I get to choose to be able to take care of myself. I get to choose to be able to be the best version I can be for myself, to honor me, because I understand that my life has value, that God who created me gave me the gift of life. And knowing that in that gift, I have the ability and it is my responsibility to take care of myself. And as I take care of myself, one, I'm honoring God, but two, I'm also honoring myself. But not only that, I will also then be able to make the biggest impact to those that I truly love. The difference here is that when we do it for ourselves, we end up impacting and doing things in a greater way for those around us versus instead if I try to do something to try and please someone. When I am able to become the best version of myself, when I am able to become healthy, strong, more active, I can be a better mom for my kids. So in that, I'm providing a better life for them. When I'm able to be the best version for myself, then I'm able to be the best version for my husband, for my wife, for my coworkers, for my business, for my friends. I'm able to have more impact. So this year, I invite you, don't do things to try and please others. Because oftentimes, we're going to not measure up. It's not going to be enough. Instead, let's do what we do for ourselves. And in that, we'll be able to make the greatest impact. Comparing yourself to others. See, this is another one that I can identify with because for many years, I would make comparisons. That guy is bigger than me. That guy is better than me. Look, that guy is able to do more reps than me. Oh my gosh, that person has a better body than I do. Blah, blah, blah. And on and on and on. Comparing ourselves to others is a dangerous trap to fall into. Because you're not the other person. You were not created to compare yourself to anyone. You are unique. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. You are the only version of yourself on earth. Which means that we should not have time to compare ourselves to others because we're not the other person. We all have something unique and beautiful and specific that was designed for us, or that maybe we were able to construct and create for ourselves. And the beauty about all this is that we have the same opportunity. In life, we're able to craft, design, and create whatever we desire. But more importantly, when we compare ourselves to others, we are losing time and losing opportunities that we could be crafting and creating for ourselves. We are immersing ourselves into a negative state, a negative mindset, a mindset and an emotional state that ends up destroying us because, I hate to say this, but it is the truth, somebody else will always have it better than you. Somebody else will always have it better than me. But that doesn't make me less than anyone. That doesn't make me less valuable, less important, less beautiful, less powerful, less creative, less whatever it is than the other person. All it means is that they were able to obtain more. They maybe had more opportunities. They maybe were able to take advantage of more opportunities. They maybe were able to put in more work. Maybe they had more commitment, more dedication, whatever that might be. But that doesn't matter. Because what matters is focusing on ourselves and looking at the value that our life has. Oftentimes when we compare ourselves to others, it is because we've lost or we don't recognize the value that we have as a human, the value of our life, the beauty, the essence of who we are. We've not understood that, or we may have lost it down the road. But again, the beautiful thing is that we can always reconnect with that because it's there each day for us. Each day, mercies are born for us, are renewed for us, are there present for us. Each day we have life. It is a gift, a new opportunity. Breathing and knowing that we are alive to be able to experience God's goodness, God's blessing, the experience of life and everything that it has to offer. Comparing ourselves will only destroy. It'll only take us into a dark pit. It'll only cause us to lose more time, waste more time. But more importantly, it tends to take us out of our own purpose. It distracts us. Comparing ourselves to others is a huge distraction. And this year, I invite you to start looking at what are some of the distractions in my life. What are distractions that keep me from being focused on my objective? Focus on the target at hand. Focus on the life that I want to create, on the things that I want to obtain, on the skills I want to build, on the body I can design, on the health I can achieve. What are these distractions? Distractions can become poison, that when they become a part of our life and they start to come within us, they start to consume us, and they lead us to, they cause us to stray away. They cause us to make undesired choices. They cause us to go in directions and paths that we don't want, that can tend to lead us to paths that maybe we might end up regretting, or making choices that we can beat ourselves up for them afterwards and say, dang it, why did I do that? Why was I distracted by that? I lost time. I made these unhealthy choices, and now I've just fallen back. Comparing ourselves only leads to destruction, disappointment, displeasure, and causes us to lose time. Look, you are incredible. Everything and anything that you desire is already inside of you. You have the potential and the ability to craft and design whatever you desire. With each opportunity that God allows you to live, it's an opportunity that He's giving you, gifting you, so that you can go out, crush it, and live your best life. Speaking negative to yourself. Our words have power. Our words will create. Our words will come to life. Why? Because as we hear, we believe. As we hear and believe, we will do. When we speak negative to ourselves, we end up bringing death. We end up bringing those things into existence to our life. And as we're speaking this negativity and we're hearing it, we end up believing it. And the more we hear it, the more we believe it, then we start to actually accept it for ourselves. We all heard that saying, as a man thinketh, so he is. And the reason he's thinking is also, as we speak it, we hear it, therefore we believe it. So it's very important to reflect and analyze, what words are you speaking to yourself? Are you constantly putting yourself down? Are you constantly using words as you're an idiot, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're dumb? And it could be jokingly, or it could be in just an outburst because you get angry, you make a mistake, and you're like, dang, how can you be so dumb? How can you be so stupid? Or you stand in front of a mirror, and because you don't like the way you look, you end up speaking bad. Man, these pants make me look fat. Dang, I'm ugly. Look at this. Look at this blouse. Nothing fits me. Instead, I invite you to start speaking positive words. Words that will uplift you, words that will create good, words that are in line with who you desire to be, to create and craft a new identity, words that will edify you, that will build you up. Words that, based on your faith, if you believe in what God says in the Word of God, speak the Word of God, the truth, the living Word, the truth about who you are or who you desire to be. Because as we speak, we hear. And why are affirmations so powerful? When done right, as we speak these words and we hear them, why are we speaking them out? It's not so that we can manifest these things simply because things align and the universe hears and it's now going to happen. No. We speak these so that as we're speaking this truth, or we're speaking positively, or we're speaking to edify us, or we're speaking what you're now choosing to believe, it's so that you can hear it. Faith comes through hearing. The more you hear this truth, or the more you hear the truth that you desire now to believe, the moment as you start to hear the positivity and the good, things that edify you, you start to believe them. Speaking them, affirming the truth now is so that you can hear it. Because as you hear it, you will start to believe it. As you start to believe it, you will start moving as if you are that. And as if you are that, you will start to take actions, the right actions in line with that new belief, with that identity, with what you've chosen to believe. And as you're making these choices and making and taking these actions, you will have the results that this person desires. You will start to have the right results that you so desire. So this year, I invite you, let's stop speaking negative to ourselves and instead flip it. Speak the opposite and speak positive. Speak life, uplifting, things that edify you, and watch what happens. Doing what someone else is doing. This is a big mistake that we can fall into when we're unsure of what to do. Look, it's very easy to make a phone call or to get online and search, okay, what should I do about this? Or what is the new trend of this? Or what is the new fad? Or, hey, John, what is it that you're doing, man? Look, I believe that we should get insight. And I do believe that there's information out there and things that we can gain from each other. But the one thing I want to advise and kind of want to encourage you is to not do what others are doing if what they're doing doesn't align with your intentions, your goals, and with your lifestyle. Look, listen to me here. This is very important. Because oftentimes we can fall into these trends, or we can go really quick on social media and start searching and looking at an influencer, right, that has been maybe working out for 15, 20 years or 10 years, has a totally different body complexion, has a totally different ability, has a totally different level of understanding, of connection with his body, of intelligence in terms of the gym and how to exercise and what to do. There's so much more advanced. And so you look at them and you look at the results that you have. And so we start to copy what they're doing. And now the danger with that is that if we're copying or doing what somebody else is doing and it doesn't fit, one, with our current state, our current level, our current experience, our current knowledge, or even our lifestyle of what we're capable of doing, our muscle resistance. Maybe there are certain mobility restrictions that you have because of past injuries, things that you have no experience about. And so you jump in cold because somebody else is doing it and they seem to be getting results and it's working for them. So you feel, well, if it works for Sarah, if it's working for John, if it's working for Mary, it must work for me. And then we jump in and do it, and that can lead to dangerous side effects. That can lead to injuries. That can lead to setbacks. That could lead to disappointment. That could lead to so many different things that can literally set you up to fail. So my friends, I'm not saying to not research and kind of look at what other people are doing and get advice. Look, I'm always here to support you in that, and I'm always here to guide you in that. But here, what I want to just kind of get you to understand here, we want to be careful with doing exactly what somebody else is doing, or calling somebody else that's on their own journey to see what they're doing, and then, okay, I'm just going to do the same thing then. If it's working for them, it should work for me. That's not always the case. Now, there are some cases where, yeah, we can gain some benefit, but it's always better to understand what specifically is going to work for me. What do I need based on where I'm at, based on my level of experience, based on what I'm able to commit to, based on my lifestyle. Because if you're a CEO or you're an entrepreneur or you're a busy mom, a busy dad, and what the other person is doing, they're going 4 or 5 times a week to the gym, working 1 to 2 hours, and you try to do it, it's unrealistic for you. It's unsustainable for you because you may not have the time to be able to do that. So then you get discouraged because you believe that that's what it really takes to get results. And that's not the case. What we want to do is analyze and look at, what is my lifestyle? What is my real intention here? What do I want to achieve? What is the focus here? So that then I can understand, okay, what am I able to do? That's why it's important to look at, what are some of my mobility restrictions? Doing a functional movement test, which is what I do with all of my students at the very beginning, to have an understanding of where they're at, of where their body is, so that I know exactly what they're able to do, what they're not able to do, where they have restrictions, where they might have some stiffness, some tension, some hesitation, some resistance, because then based on that, we can then start crafting and creating a really awesome exercise program, a very awesome nutrition program, a very awesome functional, flexible nutrition or flexible lifestyle program for them. And that is the goal here, my friends. We want to learn exactly what we need that is going to work for us based on our lifestyle, because when everything aligns with your lifestyle, we'll be able to save time, crush it, and have some amazing results. So this year, let's not copy and do what everybody else is doing. Instead, let's educate ourselves with what we need. And we can do that by connecting with the professional. Whether it's myself or somebody else that you can look up to, reach out, ask questions, get information. I'm always here to support you, and I would gladly love to have a conversation to help you craft the exact steps or the exact routine or lifestyle that will fit best with you. And the last mistake we want to avoid this year is looking or choosing for quick fix solutions. I hate to break this to you, my friends, but there is no quick fix solution. When we're designing and crafting a life, there is no shortcut. There is no quick fix. All quick fixes and all fast solutions, they are only temporary. And look, let's be honest. We all know this. We've all experienced it to some degree. So this year, let's get honest with ourselves and really confront that side of us as humans that wants things fast, that just wants the quick solution, that just wants to release all the weight I can quickly. Let me release 100 pounds in the next 3 months. I'm willing to take anything. Give me this pill, give me that pill, give me a supplement, give me whatever it is. That will work temporarily. You might get results. Matter of fact, you will get results. But the truth is, you're not going to be able to design a life of health that way. It's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be long-term. It's not going to give you the health longevity that you should have. It's really about understanding that this is a journey. This is a process. And the faster we can fall in love with this process, and I like to call it the process of discovery, meaning that we're in this process to discover who we are, who we can become, what life can we craft, how much can we actually achieve, what are we able to do, what is our strength, how much results can we have. That is the discovery. That is a process. And when we fall in love with the journey, Gary Vee talks about it. Many people talk about it. James Clear talks about it. It's really about adopting a lifestyle and knowing that this is something I get to create each day. Doesn't matter how long it takes. I am crafting a life of health each day, and each day as I enjoy this journey, I'm able to build and build on top to create a solid, not only foundation, but a solid life of health that I can inspire others with. And it's about embracing and falling in love with this gift of life and the gift of living a healthy life. Quick fix solutions, all they do is create disappointment. And all they do is create an unstable emotional life, which is why the supplement business is a billion-dollar company, because they play and they utilize people's emotions. They make money off of your emotions. How can we make them go bankrupt? By understanding that it's not about a quick fix solution. I want to invite you to join me to starve these quick fix solutions by embracing a journey of health, falling in love with this process, and seeking health in a realistic, right way. And how do we do that? Each day, we get 1% better. Each day, we set intentions and we strive at them and we're intentional about them. We execute, we change our beliefs, speak life, put in the necessary work, believe right, and get the right results. My friends, there is no other way. If we truly want to create a life of health, we cannot achieve it with the quick fix, fast solution. So that does it, my friends. These are the 7 mistakes that most people fall into at the beginning of every year, every quarter, or just at the beginning of a venture that they are embarking on. This year, I want to invite you to reflect on these 7 mistakes and look at, have I done them in the past first of all? And if I have, how can we reevaluate them and look at this year of how or ways that we can avoid falling into these mistakes? We're heading into now the 3rd week of this year. Reflect on yourself. Have I fallen into one of these traps or one of these mistakes? Am I currently in one of these mistakes? If so, let's evaluate again and look at how can I get myself out of it, or how can I stop making this mistake? Because we can. That's the beauty of it. By being intentional, recognizing I am in one of these mistakes, and being intentional to not stay there can help us make our life easier in this journey towards a life of better health. It's all about sustainability. And I know you can do it because we have an amazing opportunity this brand new year that we can embark on, setting intentions to create the life that we desire. I hope this was helpful, my friends. If it was, let me know in the comment section. If you have any questions, or if you have or just need support on any of these mistakes. Maybe you want to learn how to set intentions, or maybe you want to learn how to not put pressure on yourself in a negative way, or whatever it is from 1 to 7, let me know. We can connect and we can have a conversation. So as we come to a close, I just want to recap. Number 1, 7 mistakes we want to avoid. Number 1, setting unrealistic goals. Number 2, putting pressure on yourself. Number 3, doing something to please someone else. Number 4, comparing yourself to others. Number 5, doing what someone else is doing, which was really number 6, speaking negative to yourself. And then number 7, choosing quick fix solutions. If you have any questions, want to have a conversation, want to talk about something more in depth, shoot me an email. You can email me at david@davidhernandez.co, david@davidhernandez.co. More than happy to respond to your questions. If you want to learn more about how I help people, maybe you want me to support you, or you want to learn more about my group coaching, my one-on-one coaching, or any of my services, you can check them out on my website, www.davidhernandez.com. .co. www.davidhernandez.co. C-O. Check it out. You'll find it there at the bottom. And reach out. You can always book a conversation. We can jump on a call and just allow me to serve you and learn more about your journey. If we haven't connected on social media, let's do that. You can find me on my handle at Dave K. Hernandez, at Dave K. Hernandez. Check me out. I'd love to follow. I'd love to connect with you. Let's do that if we haven't already. And thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, click the subscribe button, click the little bell so you can get all the notifications of our up and coming episodes. And if you're listening to me on your favorite podcast station, click the follow button so you don't miss an episode. And every Friday, I have free Friday trainings. Look, my mission is to help 1 million people live a life of freedom through health in a simple, smart, and sustainable way. And I can do this only with your help. And we establish this through our community. So every Friday, I have free Friday trainings. Click the link. It's in the description there, in the show notes. Find out how you can connect and be a part of this. You can do that there. And also share this with somebody so that together we can impact more people. My friends, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Listen, You're Not Defeated. And I'm your host, David Hernandez, reminding you that you are incredible. Go out, crush it, and live your best life. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.